Get started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to today's daily investing analysis. Today is going to be a little bit different. We're going to cover some topics here and what I think about them. And what can we do if those things that I'm going to tell you are going to be somehow true? And it's not just what I am saying, it's what I see is happening as well in the world. And you must be seeing different headlines lately that how Nvidia has, like, they're saying that they have achieved AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and how some people are scared of what the implications of that is going to be and the impact of that in the market, as well as we're having war going on, that Iran is threatening that they're going to be cutting off the internet cables under the sea, and if that is actually going to happen. On the other hand, we are seeing people stockpiling the things they think that are going to be actually rising in price in the near future because of how the current state of war is, and how they're thinking that we might be actually going in back to the old times, the Stone Age. um, okay, we can just start talking about it, right? And I'm gonna show you different charts as well. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, we're gonna talk about US dollar, we're gonna talk about stock market, because I did some analysis before, and most of the things I have mentioned here, yeah, I think you guys can see me now. Okay, so yeah, I think lost some connection, but we're here again. Okay, but still, anyways, if I see that it's not being recorded properly, I will re-upload it back to YouTube. So there's nothing to worry about that. So let's go, and I am gonna be sharing the charts with you. Should be able to see it. Yeah. So the things you might want to see on the left is not actually important. So okay, so currently, let's start talking about the US dollar first and what is happening. Then I will slowly, while we are analyzing the market, I will wrap up things and try to be as transparent as possible, and also put it into a structure so you guys truly understand what I'm saying. Because most people don't, unfortunately. If they would have, or we would have, together as humans understood some things, we wouldn't be in this situation. The world wouldn't be suffering. And yeah, I wish I knew things before as well. But when I see the world suffering, then yeah, we are in the end of times anyways. But let's be also hopeful, because most of the times it's all a scam and it's all a deception. We're gonna cover both of them, if it's really a deception or we are really going to be suffering more than we are, and things are going to get so expensive that most people cannot afford. Um, yeah. So let's start with US dollar. So as you guys know, for the past couple of weeks and months, I've been telling you guys that US dollar is going to be heading back to 100 level, and you can see it's already at 100. And higher than that, we have this wick, which is extended to 101.94. Let's call it 102. Because if we breach that level, then US dollar would be getting very, very strong. Okay? So that's one thing. On the other hand, if we take a look at this whole thing, the whole picture, US dollar has been trending down for some time. Okay. But you know that US dollar is always manipulative, and they always do these wars in order to actually make it strong. And if people don't want US dollar, what they actually do is they destroy that country or whoever. Uh, but the thing is that the biggest challenge for them right now is if people actually try to move into decentralized money, which is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, as well as more than AI, the most uncontrollable money is the decentralized money, because you cannot shut it down. And in order to shut that down, you'll need to shut down the internet, and you will need to shut down the electricity, or at least make it not affordable for people, or at least make people not own it. And then instead of making it as money to be used, make it as investment. So it always has these sort of pumps and dumps. So people get scared because people most of the time get manipulated with these things. And that's what I've been teaching you guys, that uh, don't be thinking like that. Don't get manipulated with the actions that they take. Instead, read through it. And in order to do that, and it's not just money, it's everything. All the information that you get from the internet, from the news channels, they have been manipulating it for 100 years at least, or even before that, okay? Since the printing press started, since people started uh, telling things that could influence people. Okay, so they have different techniques. Unfortunately, most people uh, they don't do that, and it's the intellectual people that they get to know it. Let me give you an example. For example, the atom bomb. Okay, the guy that made it, the nuclear bomb, he knew what it is, but he couldn't help it, and he built it. Then after he built it, all of it was taken from him, and the next thing you hear was boom, Japan. Okay, so like this, a lot of the technologies and a lot of the things that we are getting, which is not unfortunately in the hands of Muslims, and by Muslims I mean the ones that they truly fear God, fear Allah, because those that they are like so-called Muslims and they aren't actually Muslims, they are they are destroying us. Uh, it's a big topic. Maybe I can cover it sometime in the future if I'm alive, and to tell you guys that. But let's see. Let's hope for the best. So, covering this back, so you can see that we are reaching this resistance line the same way that it happened before, and what I can expect if it is true, then it should start falling from here. Okay, that's one thing. But if it gets breached, then it's not gonna be good, I'm telling you. Before I go to USD, let's take a look at the state of stock markets, because previously I have shown you guys this, that the stock markets is actually at what? So this is Nasdaq. You can see that it was actually in the distribution phase, and it was highly overbought for several months. It stayed here until we got these rejections, and if you go to weekly, you can see that we got multiple rejections here, and this is what is happening, and it is down so far from its all-time high around 12%, and it is reaching a level of support right now. So if you see something like this happening, don't be surprised for it to go back to 24 or a little bit higher, then come back down. Okay, now also for how it is going to be performing in the future. This is what I'm still thinking, but it could be wrong. Maybe it could find a support around 22,000 and then from there go back up and start trending up. That's also quite possible, but for that to happen we would need to go above this yellow line, because if you come to the weekly you can see that this is forming a bearish trend for the stock market. Okay, so this, if this is broken again and we start moving up, then we can say that okay, stock market situation is going to get better. Otherwise I can see it going back to these lows, and it wasn't v- like it wasn't too long ago that it reached the $16,000 level. It was at, you can see it was at April or March 2025. It can go back to those levels, and maybe in future we will see even lower levels, because so there are like these possibilities that we could be in a prolonged war, and it's not gonna be very good for all people. But uh, if you have Allah on your side, then why should you be scared? It's just, for me, I am more worried for others than I'm worried for myself. Uh, because I know when things happen, you can't do anything, and I thought about it for a while, that what could I be possibly doing. Then I found out that nothing, because as an individual I can't be doing much. Uh, but as a group of people, if we are united like that, then inshallah maybe we can have a good future. Maybe if not for us, for our kids. So yeah, you can see that even S&P 500 is coming down, as I have given you guys these levels before. You can go and check it out on our X page, or whatever you want to call it, X account, Twitter. I have talked about stock market before, which is right before it broke this line. You can see I published it, and it was on 13 March that I said that sentiment is shifting, stock market is in distribution phase, could potentially have a 20% drop on the upcoming months, then further down next year. So yeah, this is quite possible, and so far it is down 12% from its all-time high. Let's see what's gonna happen next. So that's the state of stock market, and you can see some of the stocks like MicroStrategy, Nvidia, which most money of Nvidia lately is coming from AI. So you should know that it is in a level of support. It could come lower, but let's see. It has also formed a downtrend, which you cannot deny that it's not a downtrend. It is exactly where Bitcoin was at $125,000. So at 197, Nvidia was at that level, and it's coming down. So it has broken this trend, which doesn't look like a trend as well, but whatever you want to call it, it is now broken. But we have another trend line that it might be actually reaching to that, which is, nope, it is also broken. So yeah, however you want to put it, we can only see these horizontal support and resistance lines, and be prepared like that. But since it is not about stock markets, it is only about crypto, we're gonna focus on that. It's just I'm showing you, then we're gonna come into a conclusion that what is really happening in the world. Okay, so let me show you some other things, because about these I have talked very long time ago. So this is Chinese yuan, and you can see that it had broken these lines of support. So it is also retesting. So if US dollar goes down against Chinese yuan, then it's actually good. And you can see since last year, it is US dollars going down against it. And the same, it is going down against Canadian dollar, which unfortunately it didn't go quite well until the level that I was expecting, but it did came down to these levels. So this is an analysis from a very long time. As you can see, I haven't updated it, but it did what it was supposed to do. It did come lower, it broke it, and it did continue at least until here. But now again, it's also back into the resistance. And take a look at this one. USD against Japanese yen. It's at all-time high, and it was supposed to break and go lower, and it also didn't do that. So you can tell that US dollar was getting strong all this time, but when we reach a level of resistance, instead of thinking that it could go higher, think of a correction. That's better. But also keep your eyes on, if such thing happens, then it would be significant, okay? And for US dollar against Australian dollar, you can see that it broke perfectly. Now it is retesting. So it is in a level that it is also retesting for a further continuation to the downside, okay? This is how it's looking like. So 1.45 is going to be that level that it needs to hold. And don't even like think about this. This is US dollar against Turkish lira. um, it's really bad. Like, they got to know and they started selling gold to actually back this up, but we don't see any good happening for US dollar against Turkish lira. I hope it happens, because I know, I can tell how things have gone. Like, they have skyrocketed in Turkey. Things have gone really, really expensive. But alhamdulillah, like in all situations. And this is US dollar against Afghani, which you can see that after a retest of this 66 level, it did fall back below, and it is trying to go back to maybe 57 for now. 62 below 67. So right now it's at 64. So that's what the situation of stock market and also forex or currencies are, which I have described. Let's go and take a look at gold before we dive into crypto, because that's also important. And for gold, what I gave you guys was this chart, and since it's Saturday, nothing has happened. But yeah, I keep posting things on X, so if you wanna check it out, you can do that. It was at 4,462. Now it's at 4,493, 6293. So yeah, it is trying to go up. Let's see what's gonna happen, because it did broke this support and also this level of demand. So there could be some kind of resistance either here or a little bit higher. So I have marked this just in case it goes higher. It always does. Very manipulative lately for gold. But if we also copy, you can see that it's quite similar what's happening, and it is in this range, and it could stay for a while. So this is the mid-range for gold, which is 4,700, and if it does go higher, it can only go higher to $5,000, only if it can actually take over back the mid-range. Otherwise, we would see lower levels and then a consolidation between. So this is the map of gold for the upcoming days. And against Bitcoin, well, we did have a little bit downward movement for gold against Bitcoin, but it may go back to this monthly resistance again, then gold will come back down, then Bitcoin will outperform it. But till then, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see where can we buy, where can we sell. And as you guys know, I am not trading lately. I am just accumulating at these lower levels because not so much, like very little for some of the altcoins and some in Bitcoin. So you can see that it is happening. We have got this breakout of this trend. Clearly there is a breakout. You can see it again if you don't believe me. Okay? You can see that when a trend is broken, okay, what happens right after that? Yeah. However you want to put it, it is broken, okay? So these are the breakout candles. 1, 2. It took a while before falling, but it fell for 2 days straight. Then it took a while for its retest, then it continued. And it broke, it stayed for a while, then it broke again, then it stayed, then it continued. Okay, so anything could happen. It has broken. It could stay for a while, then continue going lower. So if I see it actually staying here for a while, then I may sell back some of the new positions that I have lately bought. But if not, then I could expect it to reclaim this level and actually maybe go back to $80,000 before falling down. But that's the thing, that it is one of the possibilities. And also, if you guys remember, I always tell you guys, when something becomes so obvious that a lot of people can see it, then most likely it doesn't happen. Okay, so if this is one of those times, if a lot of people have noticed it, then it's quite possible that it doesn't happen and it gets manipulated again. But as far as I can tell, mm, I think it's still the same scenario since we are in a downtrend. So I want to keep it the way it is until it is proven otherwise. If this red line gets reclaimed, obviously because I update you guys every other day or every single day, then I'll come back and update you guys again. So if you are enjoying so far, make sure to press the like button so it reaches to more people. And yeah, and you can also now subscribe and press that bell notification button, so whenever I go live you can actually get notified. And also you can join our community, which is a free community. The links will be down below. So yeah, I can see it coming back to $60,000 to $59,000, and it has broken this level. And I told you guys it's quite possible as well, and you can see it did. Nothing new has happened. This was the previous analysis, by the way, that even since $76,000, I told you guys it's gonna come back to 60, because we didn't get that breakout. We haven't broken this trend line. And also, I will update you guys with the Persian calendar. I can't do it now because somehow I have lost the whole analysis and the whole chart. But once I update it, I'll come back and make the second part of that, and I will show you guys where are we in that according to that calendar. So yeah, nothing much is happening in the market. And let's cover US dollar as the stable coin of US dollar, which is USDT. And it did break It did break this resistance. Like, it is a proper breakout. This is the breakout that I am talking to you guys about. But if it gets invalidated, it should fall back below this area. So if you see such thing happening, then we are in good hands. Then for quite some time, this thing will go down, crypto will go up. But as of now, the way I see it, why not go like this? Even if it does come to these levels to make some people fool, it will go back up. For short term, yes, I could have taken a trade, or I could have taken a trade until here, but I still think it's not worth it. It's better to accumulate. That's why I told you guys it's better to accumulate the coins that we think that are overvalued, and I have shared it with you guys on premium as well. Um, I share my entire portfolio, which is a halal portfolio that I have been building in the past for 5 years. So yeah, I have those still in play, but I'm not trading, which we do spot trading. For those of you that you don't know. And also, Bitcoin dominance is getting ready to be able to move a little bit. So we should expect some altcoin moves. If things get back under control, then we should see altcoins moving greatly. But also, Bitcoin dominance coming down doesn't mean that Bitcoin, people are buying more altcoins instead of Bitcoin, but people are actually, unfortunately, purchasing USDT and USDC. So that's what's happening. And yeah, I have made a video of why it is a trap, but you can see that people are already falling into the US dollar trap, like always. Maybe if that gets succeed, okay. So two things could happen. If stable coins get succeeded, we're likely gonna not see any war, further war, or the destruction of the world, or total control, because it means that people are falling into the trap and slowly they will move toward that. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen and people actually wake up and a lot of them go to crypto and Bitcoin and gold and silver and the things that really, really matter, and it's against US dollar, then this war could get prolonged and it could go for quite some time. And this is only my own observation for the past couple of 15 years of what I have learned, not just in this market, but throughout the books and from Quran, that these hypocrites, they do attack your emotions. And most of us, unfortunately, we don't have those moral values that we should have. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this situation. Most of our leaders, unfortunately, they have sold their souls to the devil. That's the truth about it. And you can see that how now Donald Trump is mocking Mohammed bin Salman, because that's what he did. He went after him. He praised him, and a lot of other leaders did as well, calling peace president. And you will see how these people like Donald Trump will consider them and behave like them, like they're their dogs, that's unfortunate when you don't take power in your hands as Muslims, which people could live in prosperity, like actual true Muslims, the way our prophets did, not like these false leaders that we have, unfortunately. So yeah, this is where the world is going, and what we can do is always, at least try to teach our children about what's going on, because we were not raised like that. And the more I study, the more I see how far behind we are into understanding how most of these things work. Now, coming to the AI part, And you will see, and you may be already seeing, a lot of people coming and talking about how AI is going to control our lives, how AI is getting people's jobs. In essence, it is very true. The way I have seen it and the things it can build, I have built things through it myself too, that I have never coded, but I have written a lot of things, which, if you see it from one perspective, it's actually very good thing. But the way it's progressing and how fast it's going, it is a bit concerning. But let me tell you guys that one thing that I am not sure of, and I haven't seen personally, because if that would have happened, then a lot of things would have already been changed, or we are at least going toward that direction. So that is actually the Agenda 2030 that they're saying, which there will be carbon credits, you will be using less energy, you won't be able to travel much, you wouldn't be able to drive cars much, because things will be expensive. And in order for that to happen, these wars happen, so people are conditioned into that. Like COVID-19 happened, people were ready for COVID to happen, basically. That's why we got COVID-19, and majority of people fell into that, and they took the vaccine. And this is what's currently happening, or maybe worse than that, or maybe it's all just a deception, as I told you guys. Because let's let's be honest, a lot of people woke up after these Epstein files got released. But you should also think, why did they release it right now if they weren't confident enough? So they did release it at this time because, this is again what I think, because people were conditioned to see such things, and even if you react, you wouldn't react in such a way uh, that would actually be danger for them. And because they control literally every single thing, the military, the robots, the AI, the energy, the food chain, and it's not in the hands of good people, they are never scared. They can just pull off the strings, and people will behave in another way. That's what I think. So, based on all the things that I have seen so far, it will just continue going like this, but I still don't think it's gonna get that severe that people are scared of, that nuclear bombs will be falling in our heads. That's not gonna happen. Inshallah. Inshallah, because uh, I believe they have other bigger plans which we cannot talk in this channel. Maybe if I make another channel, we will talk about those, inshallah. So those are the things I'm saying, and because the market is already down, most of the time when you see different headlines about what is going to happen, especially when Donald Trump came and at this level said that how he loves Bitcoin, how people can send crypto, these don't mean anything to me. I know what crypto is myself. I wouldn't care what he is going to tell me, because I can see what they are pushing for is not actually decentralization, it is total control. And it's not what they say when they mean crypto. What they say is actually US dollar in the form of stable coins, which then that is what they call crypto. So hopefully I have covered lots of things and how we can position ourselves. What to actually truly do is to educate ourselves. Most of us don't know what's happening. Most of us have very little idea of what is happening. And we might take some sides. Sometimes we might say that this person is that and that, but sometimes I get to realize that they are all the same. Nothing is left like we are going to have a human savior, unless it's, I think, Imam Mahdi that is gonna come. Uh, every leader that tried to be influential, they did try to bring good, they're all gone. They're all gone. That's unfortunate. So yeah, things are not gonna be the same. But if we always have a plan, um, we can succeed, and we can have plan. They can have plan. They can have different plans, but Allah has another plan. And in order to know that plan and to align ourselves, we need to read Quran. We seriously need to read Quran with translation, which that's what I'm doing since very long time. I'm trying to educate myself on what is Allah really saying. It's not for keeping it in your shelf, or never read, or read it and don't get to know what Allah has said. Such a shame, right? Such a shame not to know what the Creator said and still call ourselves believers. So, yeah, that's what's happening, unfortunately. So, I hope I have covered everything. It was a long session. Hope I didn't make you guys bored, because real stuff is actually boring. I wasn't here to entertain you guys, so sorry for that. It wasn't funny at all. And I'll see you guys next time.